are ultra runner David Greer and Director of Corporate Affairs for Cipla SA, Reynard van de Westhuizen. Today we're going to be talking about Miles for Smiles and a 7-day charity run that's going to be taking place at Table Mountain. Hey.
Yeah, round and round Table Mountain. So the challenge has been that we're a few teams and each of us has to complete this run every single day. It's just on 40 kilometers around quite a radical path of Table Mountain. And then on the last day, there are 1,000 runners that will all join us on, it's called the Table Mountain Crazy Store Run. So we will all then be running together on the last lap. And the aim of the run is to do 7 times around one of the 7 natural wonders to put 7 children through surgery. So it's quite a feat that we've set up.
It sounds like quite a crazy feat that you've set up. Now, before we get into it, hello.
Right. Hi.
Thank you both for coming in. Now, this is all in, all part of Miles for Smiles. Now, what exactly is Miles for Smiles?
So Cipla Miles for Smiles has been going for 2006, since 2006. Let me do that over. Cipla Miles for Smiles has been going since 2006. What happened was David was at that stage a restaurateur, and our previous CEO wrote a promissory note to him to run the Great Wall of China to the tune of 1 million rand. And that's kind of how the Cipla Miles for Smiles were born. And since then, we've done 2,000 corrective surgeries to kids with cleft lip and cleft palate. So in a nutshell, how it works is Cipla provides the awareness and raises funds for Operation Smile. We then go out and actually physically do the corrective surgery for children. So it's a combination between Cipla as a pharmaceutical company and then Operation Smile as an NGO.
All right. David, what made you want to get involved with this particular cause?
It was numerous reasons for it, but as a chef, I had the privilege of traveling abroad and representing the country and doing cooking demos and promoting South African food. And you come back from a fundraiser and you bring money back and you give it to X, Y, and Z, and you want to know what happens. Where does the money go? And what happened, I met up with this lady from OpSmile. She'd actually just come back from China, and we were going to China. And she said, look here, we need to launch Operation Smile in South Africa. Will you help us bring it to South Africa? And then she explained, you know, for every 5,500 rand you give, there's a photograph of a child before, there's a photograph afterwards. You can meet the child. You can sit in surgery for odd operations, you know, getting permission that. So it became so tangible that you know where your funds are going and you actually see the rewards. They're there and you physically see a child's life being changed. And it's not only that, I mean, like Reynard was saying, is you take a family that's ostracized, that are hidden away, and now they just flourish. And this kid like John today, I mean, to see him standing up there in front of all of us and telling his story with this beaming smile of his face, whereas he was saying before, he'd walk around hiding his face. He would hide in church. He just didn't want to be seen. He couldn't sing. And now he's there in the front and he's singing every Sunday and he's smiling at everyone. He said when he went back to to Kigali, when he arrived there, they all said, "Where's John?" It's his brother. They didn't even recognize him. You know,
oh my gosh.
What an amazing story that is. And he's, yeah. So that's what it's about. It's about giving people that chance they deserve in life.
That really is a heartwarming story. I can't imagine how he feels, but I can't even imagine how you feel having run thousands and thousands of miles for these children. So,
well, you know, the feeling is when, it's basic to me, it's like a promise. You go out and you promise them, I'm going to make a difference. And when that last step's coming there and you're faltering and you're not believing in yourself, in the back of your head is, you know, I made a promise to someone I haven't even met. I'm not going to let them down. And you take that next step and that next step. And you know, we were in the Transkei once on the South African run, and there was this woman who gave off her little baby and had a total bilateral cleft. Her name was Zama. And she just had this gaping gash in her mouth with her teeth protruding. And I remember her giving off this child to the anaesthetist, and I had the privilege of going to theatre, and an hour and a half later we came out with Zama and she gave her back to her mom. And her mom just looked at her and saw this absolute beauty unleashed in this child's face. And all she said in Xhosa was, "Buhle," which means you're beautiful. You know, you see that parental bond rekindled between a mother and a child that you see at birth. And that's what you're doing. It's like, it's the rebirth of a child. It's unbelievable to see that bond, and the parents are, it's just special, man.
So what are the logistics of this? Because it sounds crazy, like you said at the beginning.
It's manic. You start at the bottom of where the cable station is, the Cleft neck, and you go down towards Deer Park, and it's 10 k's all along these gravel roads and the gradients. I mean, some of those hills are unbelievable, and then you think, all right, that's it.
I
you
can't
get up
even
to
walk on them. So
yeah. And then you get to the blockhouse, and then it's 10 k's to Constantianek, but there as well, it's Roy Cut Ravine, and it's the rock fall, and it's undulating like this. And then when you get to Constantianek, that's just over 20 k's. Then you got around another 3-4 k's to the back of the Seikaborsi restaurant, and then you go up Noordhoek Peak, up the back of Seikaborsi. So from there, then it's 17 k's of basically undulating up across the mountains. And then you get to Kasteelspoort, and then you come straight on 800 meters, and then you got another 6 k's around to where you started again. So it's basically 7 hours a day, every day.
And
that's
who is going to do this?
So on Saturday, for example, okay, during the week from the 7th, you'll have 7 corporate teams that's going to take part. So they can either run the entire race, or they can do, do it in 2 sections like a relay, or like 3 people. And then on the 13th of September, which is the Saturday, over 1,000 people will be on the mountain that will run. So for example, our company has entered a male team, a female team, and then what we call just the head office team. And they're going to do it as a relay. So it'll be 3 legs that they run, and as David said, the last part of the run is about 19 kilometers, and then we'll do 2 together, because you have to climb quite a bit and then run right at the top of Table Mountain. Listen, yeah, we were on top of the mountain. It is high. It's going to be tough. It's 7 hours. It's going to be hard, because it's not just running like you run on the road.
No,
this is
it's
rock
not.
climbing.
This is
it's climbing. It's
running
climbing
up.
down. Yeah, running up, and it's a very, very high mountain. People don't realize how high the mountain is. So we're going to have some tired runners, especially these guys that have done it for 7 days in a row. I think by Saturday afternoon around about 2 o'clock, we're going to end at Van Riebeeck High School sports grounds. And I think we're going to have some really, really tired people there.
Can people still enter?
To be honest, the Saturday is totally full, and the corporate team, I think it is. But the problem is, if you enter now, it's not your entry that's a problem, it's have you trained.
Yes, exactly.
Because, and I would say if someone enters last minute, but there are a lot of incredibly fit guys out there. I mean, I'm the old geezer of the crew. There are a lot of youngsters that'll probably drill me on the hill that could enter.
I would rather say the most experienced.
Yeah, that's a much better word to use right now.
I think what we must do is maybe speak to the people, if they want to take part in this, because literally sitting in your lounge or wherever you're watching this, you can make a difference by going on to www.simplemilesforsmiles.co.za, go onto the website and donate, make a donation. There you can make a donation. And as I said, for about 6,000 Rand, you personally can change a child's life forever. So that maybe is a nice call to action. So if you're too late to enter, maybe that's a way that you can donate some funds so that we can do what we do.